Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. I feel like we're at this point now where we don't really know if we're in a bull run or at least an alt rally. This is XRP on the 4 hour. I just wanted to bring it to you on the 1 hour for a second. And although we saw some significant movement upward over the last couple of days, XRP lost momentum, at about that 20 cent, almost 21 cents. It reached a high actually of above 21 cents, 0.211, now trading just under 20 cents. So came up, sellers thought for whatever reason, great time to take some profits, and now trading down and around here. When we put it back on the 4 hour, you can see that the upward momentum wasn't able to continue. And guys, when I look at Bitcoin, that rally didn't compare to the altcoin rallies that we saw during the same time period. When I bring up VET here, guys, you can see VET also lost some momentum here right now, trading at 0.0155. So altcoins lost some momentum. Another one that I like to compare is XLM because it is similar to XRP in a lot of ways. And we can see that that downward movement has continued. Now, let's bring it back to XRP. XRP USD. Again, guys, this is on the 4 hour, and we are still making higher highs, so this could pick up again. Maybe it's just the beginning. Maybe some of us are getting a little too pessimistic, because overall, when you look at this trend, it still could go either way. What does David Schwartz have to say? Yesterday, guys, I talked about a tweet that David Schwartz tweeted out with regards to a fair assessment of value of XRP. And he said, just to reiterate, I honestly believe, crazy as it sounds, that cryptocurrency prices generally do reflect the wisdom of crowds and a fair assessment of expected future. I am way in the minority on this view, and of course, I could well be wrong, but that's what I truly believe. He says, my logic is simply that if the price were obviously too low or obviously too high, enough wealthy people would buy or sell to push the price into a reasonable assessment of value. Now, of course, he's talking in a spec market. This is all spec trading at the moment. We're not actually seeing that real world value being derived from any particular cryptocurrency at this moment in time. I mean, XRP, there is some utility being used, but not nearly enough to move the marker. So then he says, I think when cryptocurrency prices go down generally, for example, that reflects in a complex, ugly way a realistic assessment that the prospects for the cryptocurrency space generally have worsened, which I don't really agree with. He adds that he believes the cryptocurrency market is mostly fair. He says, my argument is that the cryptocurrency market is mostly fair in this sense because it's spread over a large number of exchanges, open to the majority of wealth in the world, and participation isn't artificially limited. Of course, as I say this, cryptocurrencies seem to be shooting up for no particular reason, so there's that. So it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason, and again, this is because of the speculative nature of cryptocurrencies. We were seeing VET shoot up because VET has people who are interested in the project, and there's still not much liquidity traveling through a lot of these cryptocurrencies, so it is a lot easier in a lot of ways for whales, I put whales in quotes, to get prices moving in either direction based on just that. David Schwartz continues by saying he actually doesn't believe that whales can manipulate price. He held his ground when he was challenged with this. He says, I don't want to think that, but the logic of the argument that if it was way too low or way too high, wealthy people would push the price seems pretty inescapable to me. Alex Ship here responds, they would, but why buy up cheap assets when you can collectively suppress them further with derivative markets and accumulate exponentially over time? And why sell assets when you can artificially prop up prices with fake fiat, read USDT, and sell exponentially more? David Schwartz responds, you've done a good job making the other side's argument. My response would be that there have been lots of rich people who aren't part of that in-crowd doing the manipulation. They should be able to just take money from the manipulators by investing based on fundamentals. Well, of course, in a mature market, this is how it works. Based on fundamentals, it's kind of hard to trade that way at this moment within the crypto space. You know what, though, David Schwartz responds, maybe I'm doing the very thing I say I'm trying not to do. Maybe I really do want markets to be rational because I like things that are rational. Maybe I don't like the idea of shadowy forces controlling a market. So more insight from David Schwartz of Ripple. Doesn't actually think whales can manipulate the space, which I tend to disagree with. The markets are very, very fragile still, guys, at this moment. And later on, we're going to talk a little bit about why CZ seems to think that the next real altcoin rally will be good for only a handful of cryptocurrencies. And I'll tell you which ones those will be in a second. I'm going to continue on here. This from Ripple's own Twitter account. Being part of RippleNet has helped us forge sustainable and scalable relationships with other financial institutions around the world. This from Ed Metzger, the OnePay FX CEO. So Ripple posted this. We know OnePay FX has been around for a while, was released by Banco Santander. And so these guys are big in the Eurozone. International payments are just one of a large range of services that Santander offers to its 140 million retail and commercial customers around the world. But the frequency of feedback around the lack of clarity and transparency in the traditional progress suggested that an opportunity existed for any bank that could overcome these challenges. So they talk, there's a 3-minute clip here, guys. I'll link it in the description if you want to watch the full thing. Ultimately, some of the takeaways here, looking towards the future, we're looking to expand OnePay FX to new territories and customer segments so more people can benefit from faster, cheaper, and more transparent international payments, concluded Metzger. The partnership with Ripple is key because our success so far gives us the confidence to move ahead even faster. It's not just the technology. Being part of RippleNet has helped us forge sustainable and scalable relationships with other financial institutions around the world. By offering more customers a better way of spending money abroad, we're achieving our goal of helping people and companies prosper. So again, part of being part of that RippleNet family has to do with the connections. Being part of a larger network where these companies can really thrive by leveraging RippleNet. OnePay FX obviously sees the benefits in that, and so Ripple obviously putting out a statement to that effect. Interesting news, although we already knew OnePay FX was doing what they were doing, but it's interesting to see the progress and what the future could hold for OnePay FX. XRP Crypto Wolf posted this. The Australian government wants to join work groups to help guide the national blockchain roadmap. So here we have it from Cointelegraph here. The Australian National Blockchain Roadmap Steering Committee has reached out to a wider blockchain community in order to create working groups to explore specific applications of the technology within the supply chain, agriculture, and educational sectors. The invitation on the Australian government's Department of Industry, Science, Energy and Resources website asks interested parties to submit their expressions of interest before July 22nd. The working groups will explore and identify use cases and economic opportunities, as well as barriers that may prevent adoption across Australia, presenting their findings to the committee by early 2021. So this is not even necessarily with regards to finance. This is with regards to all kinds of blockchain applications, as they mentioned up here. Supply chain, which we know VeChain is good with, agriculture, and educational sectors. So Australia, there is already an ODL corridor for those of you guys who do not know by now. And now they're looking to expand blockchain possibilities within the country. So by recognizing the rich opportunities that exist to leverage blockchain across our economy, these collaborative working groups will play a central role. They will help progress two important use cases for this technology: supply chains and credentialing. So really focusing on alternatives for blockchain usage. And we keep getting back to supply chain. Guys, this VeChain project, it has immense possibilities surrounding it. So yeah, we just got to hang tight, see how that project unfolds. But it's great to see, other countries around the world looking to not just think about blockchain and cryptocurrency within the realm of finance and transactions, for example, but also using it for other applications, smart contracts, just naming one, supply chain. Of course, there are so many possibilities with blockchain technology. Another one here, guys, from Crypto Wolf. Coinbase set its first investor day for August 14th. So there were rumors going around that Coinbase could be going public. It is unclear, however, whether the virtual event is related to the rumored efforts to go public. A Coinbase spokesperson confirmed the meeting is coming, but said it was meant simply to facilitate a wider understanding of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So some rumblings right now in the space, pointing to the fact that could Coinbase go public? I've got a question for you guys. Would you guys buy Coinbase stock if it went public? I know some of you might not like the exchange per se, but if that was a cryptocurrency related stock that was trading on the market, would you be interested in purchasing that IPO? Put it down in the comments if you would. This article goes on to say this will not be a traditional investor day, but rather an opportunity to hear our perspective on the crypto economy and learn about Coinbase's role in the ecosystem. So this from spokesperson Daniel Harrison. And so that's what he said. Reuters reported Thursday that Coinbase was seeking legal teams in advance of filing for a public offering with the Securities and Exchange Commission ahead of a direct listing. In a direct listing, shareholders in the private market are able to sell their holdings through the company itself, does not issue new shares or raise additional money. So Coinbase not necessarily fessing up to the fact that this could be a maybe informal gathering for potential investors. Nevertheless, there have been rumblings that Coinbase could be going public. We also heard just a few months ago that there were plans that Ripple could be releasing an IPO within the next 12 months. So now let's call it within the next 10 months. I don't know if the beer flu pandemic has put the brakes on that plan or not. It doesn't seem like the beer flu is really hindering Ripple that much. I mean, sure, you got employees working from home, but a lot of their technology, a lot of what Ripple is doing can be done remotely anyway. So, they released their cloud option for customers to be able to just integrate through the Ripple cloud thing that they released. So Ripple seems on track. Doesn't seem like they are really being hindered by this pandemic, although I don't really know. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Brad Garlinghouse obviously only telling us what we should be hearing, at least in his opinion at this moment in time. But anyway, guys, back to Coinbase. Would you buy Coinbase stock, yes or no? I'm curious to know, and I gotta say, I saw this next one, and I think I felt the same way that a lot of you guys felt with regards to a race to the top, Swift and Ripple. Okay, I saw this on Twitter from Attack XRP. I believe that Ripple holds the key to this. So this an article, blockchain empowers Swift, a new era of cross-border payments, and Swift BPI is launched. So guys, this is not GPI, this is Swift BPI. Here's a statement that reads, our services are as relevant today as they were groundbreaking back at the time of their inception, but we do not stand still. We are about continuity and change. Okay, this is the first sentence written by Swift in the latest white paper of GPI, the Global Payment Innovation Service. At the end of 2016, the first phase of the Swift GPI project was complete. In April 2017, DLT POC, Distributed Ledger Verification, was officially launched as a component of GPI, and Swift GPI launched blockchain technology. After that, Swift continuously updated the GPI system, and DLT POC Technologies incorporates blockchain technology in cross-border payment services. Then it gives a little bit on Swift. So guys, is this going to be a problem for Ripple? Does Ripple really now have something to contend with regards to their adversary Swift? So I was scrolling this article and I really couldn't find much other information on this blockchain payment innovation. So it is currently known that more than 80 banks will promise to use Swift's BPI, blockchain payment innovation, on as the new platform. If this plan is truly realized, I believe that with the empowerment of the blockchain, Swift's global payment plan will shorten the completion time of the transaction from 5 days to 1 day, or even shorter to that point of instant transactions. So whoa. Okay. They're saying that the transactions are going down from 5 days to 1 day, or even shorter, maybe, to the point of instant transactions. This to me does not sound like any improvement on Swift's current system. This article goes on to say Swift's actions in this new project are relatively conservative to industry insiders. It sounds conservative, it doesn't sound like they've done anything. Because of the scale of Swift itself and its huge size, the impact of new products from launch to promotion will be very large, and even a major revolution in the entire cross-border payment and clearing industry will require great caution. So are they doing something new? Is BPI really any different than GPI? What's the new innovative piece to this? I had to ask. So I did some more research on Twitter, because a few people were posting this, and it didn't sound like many people knew what was going on here. But of course, Galgatron's always got an opinion on this. Before anyone loses their mind thinking this is the end of Ripple, Swift's new blockchain, he puts in quotes, BPI product is just a messaging system like Xcurrent. It won't complete with ODL. So there you have it, Galgatron setting the record straight. This is not anything new. This is, again, just another rendition of Swift's T-model Ford engine with a Ferrari shell over top. Okay, because, and these kinds of points here just hint towards that. It goes from 5 days to 1 day, or even shorter. Like, they can't even pinpoint how long the transaction will take. Whereas, with RippleNet, we know we can source that liquidity within 3 seconds, and feasibly the transaction could get done in that amount of time. It looks as though Swift still has some work to do, and clearly doesn't look like they are putting up a major fight against their competitor Ripple. So guys, as I was scrolling, I also saw this from Crypto Whale on Twitter. Any good economist knows this is the textbook definition of a bubble, while retail investors and inexperienced traders think we're entering a new bull run. During this decade, we will see a collapse of the financial system due to their unprincipled functionalities. Now, do you guys think we are out of the woods with regards to, let's talk about the economy for a while, okay? The S&P 500 chugging away. Some people are thinking, yeah, well, look, it's looking fairly good. So I have it here on the daily, and you can see the Dow Jones, similar kind of chart patterns here. Now I've drawn a bunch of stuff on here because my prediction way back when is that it is going to collapse even further. We've read articles that suggest the same. But, if you look at it, it's looking like, well, it's chugging away. Okay, it came down a bit during the initial beer flu scare, and now it's back up. Okay, this line denotes its all-time high. If it pierces this level here, we could be in good shape. Guys, how does this look to you? It looks fairly bullish to an untrained eye, but you can't get ahead of yourself here. So Crypto Whale here posted this, and this is an interesting graph. It shows smart money, institutional investors, the public, and it shows, okay, this is stealth phase, awareness phase, the mania phase. And so a lot of people were very enthusiastic. Let's not forget the bull run that we had just come out of had been going on for over a decade. So a lot of people were just kind of getting used to the fact that they could make money in the stock market over the last 10 plus years. Okay, and then the beer flu hit. We saw that huge sell-off back in mid-March. And what Crypto Whale is suggesting is that this is a bull trap. The return to normal, in quotes, is kind of where we're at right now if you look at the chart. Okay, this return to normal. Okay, well, look, the market's back up. The Fed has been printing money. It's helped the market. Look, it's the new normal. But guys, if you look at the situation around us, the pandemic is still happening, the economy is still in the gutter, and this is going to affect many world economies. And quite frankly, the Fed printing money is not a good thing. So what Crypto Whale is suggesting is that we could come back down even further. And this is what's going to get a lot of people worried, despair. And so in that article that I read to you guys a few days ago now, we were suggesting that this could go down another 40%. Let me just bring up the Dow Jones again, and you guys can see here 40%. So I've actually marked the 40% from the time I read that article to here, which would bring us right to the tip here in this level of support. Look, you can even see it bouncing off these candlesticks here from way back in, this is August 2015, January 2016, and February 2016. Boom, boom, boom. That is exactly 40%, and it does actually fall in a demand zone. So is this what's happening with the economy, and will this also happen with cryptocurrencies? This is an interesting question because at first we thought, well, crypto's not really moving with the stock market. They are like a counter indicator. But then we found out something new, that cryptos were susceptible, the same as stocks in this beer flu pandemic. The market went down in mid-March, and sure enough, Bitcoin also went down in mid-March, and the rest of the cryptocurrencies did as well. XRP went down in mid-March too. So then logic would dictate that if we did see another 40% crash in the stock market, we could also see cryptos crash as well. Not only that, guys, we have this from Grimace McDonald on Twitter, at Grimace McDonald1. The Fed ended bank repos. Wow. Okay, saw it thanks to FL Gator Trader last night. Now it's official. Banks have to stand up on their own. I'm a little bit baffled, but I guess Powell is done selling liquidity crack to the banks. And I know some of you guys might not know what a bank repo is. A repurchase agreement is a form of short-term borrowing for dealers. This is just a general definition in government securities. Repos are typically used to raise short-term capital. They are also a common tool of central bank open market operations. So in this case, the Fed lending money to banks in order to go about their daily routines. But now the Fed has stopped. So Anders Lundberg says, so July might be the month when it all comes crashing down. Grimace McDonald states, I'm curious to see how long we go without bank repos. If the Fed keeps the tap off, the banks have to get their liquidity somewhere. Hey, Brad. Hey, David. Are you busy next week? Give us a call back. This is Jerome Powell and Steve Mnuchin. Thanks. DeFi Bull points out here, from the 21st, banks will use a different liquidity tool and will not need the Fed injection. So everybody keeping their eyes on this. Different liquidity tool, interesting possibility. But could this also be like a perfect storm, like a perfect recipe for RippleNet and XRP to do what they do best. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. We know XRP and we know Ripple focused on liquidity, always discussing that liquidity is key, always saying that, if XRP is liquid, this is also part of how it will become successful. We need it to be liquid in markets to be able to source it so that we can conduct business. Now, liquidity is drying up, the Fed turning off the tap. Could XRP be positioned here in order to keep this situation moving along nicely? And so it's a situation we cannot ignore. And then this connected to this slightly, Michael at Val5Links pointed this out. 95% of altcoins won't thrive during the next alt season. Guys, this from CZ, that's Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance. This is what he said, okay? He tweeted this out. The crypto industry is an interesting space. For a fact, there have been numerous crypto projects that haven't made it through the market turmoil over the years. Now, one popular figure is of the opinion that most of the existing altcoins won't last in the market. In a tweet, Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao opined that projects that have been in the market for 3 or more years but haven't created anything meaningful are bound to be left out of the bull run in this coming altcoin season. Going forth, Zhao added that a few of the crypto projects that have shown serious determination in creating innovative solutions will reap big rewards during the altcoin season. The CEO attached some good support from another fan who clarified that the time frame doesn't have to be specifically 3 years, of course, adding that there will be no comparison between projects that have been dormant for months and those that have been progressively involved in fostering adoption and creating value for their crypto projects. The progressive ones will win hands down. So what CZ is actually stating here, I think is pretty obvious, or at least it should be pretty obvious to all of us. The coins where the projects have been continuing with momentum over the last several years are going to be those altcoins that will really run in the next rally. Let's not forget, guys, that there are over 5,700 cryptocurrencies in the market. Okay, and they all have market capitalization, and if 95% of them were to get left in the dust, that would mean that only a handful of them will survive. And where do you think the money from those coins will go? When people realize, hey, my coin isn't moving, do you think that they're going to just take their money out, go home, and call it a day? Or do you think they will put their money in other cryptocurrencies, probably altcoin cryptocurrencies, that have a project behind them where momentum is moving and the price is continually going up? I'm thinking a few offhand: XRP, Cardano, VeChain, probably cryptos like Binance Coin as well, Tezos, Chainlink, potentially Stellar, just to name a few. So I think that this could be a really, really interesting altcoin rally, especially if what CZ is saying stands to come true. Now, let's not forget, guys, he is in this day in, day out. He runs one of the biggest exchanges on planet Earth. I'm sure he talks to all kinds of people and has met all kinds of different types, from the David Schwartzes to the Charlie Lees to the Charles Hoskinsons. So I'm sure he can get a sense of who is a go-getter and who is not a go-getter. And I have a feeling he is probably letting us in on some good information that we should probably know if we hold altcoins. Only hold coins where you can see value being created from its project's creators. It seems like a pretty common sense tip, but you know what? Sometimes those are the best ones. And guys, Sir Gordon Gekko here, the Phoenix will rise in July. I don't know. Is the Fed ending bank repos? The tap is being shut off. Are they going to use XRP? It's quite possible, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.